A common visual effects task is to take an actor that's been shot in one background, cut him out of that, and place him over a new background. The way this is commonly done is to shoot the actor against a green or blue background, remove or key out that green or blue color, then use the result with an alpha channel to place him over a brand new background. To do that, After Effects has a large number of keying plugins to perform this task for you. A really powerful one is Keylight. Keylight is used on many major motion pictures and videos. In this tutorial, we'll show you how to use Keylight, and then how to render the result out to a QuickTime movie or to a flash video with an alpha channel. Now before we get started, we have to warn you, there is no magic set of numbers that always works to key out footage. It does take some practice, and will vary from shot to shot. But Keylight is an effect where you can get satisfying results very quickly, or you can dive in and really tweak it out to get a good result. Now in this case, this actor has been shot against a green background, and we want to put him against this brand new background. I'm going to turn that off for now so we can see what we're doing better. The first task you want to do in keying is create what's called a garbage matte. There's no point in keying out all of the background if the actor only occupies a small part of the space. So let's go ahead and drag the time marker through our timeline to see where the actor is going to be in the frame, then use the pen tool to create a quick mask. I'm going to use the Roto Bezier option in After Effects because this makes it very easy to just click a few points and have After Effects fill in the curves for me. So let's just make a loose mask around the actor. Fairly close, but not too tight. And there we go. Let's go ahead and scrub the time marker to make sure that I'm not bumping into my mask at any point. If I get too close, I can hold Command on Mac or Control on Windows and drag my points out a little bit further. Then return to the selection tool when I'm done. If you find that yellow mask outline to be distracting, you can click on this toggle mask visibility button at the bottom of the comp panel and turn it off. I'm going to leave it on for the rest of this tutorial just to remind you that we are using a garbage matte. Next, we want to apply the Keylight plugin to the actor's footage. We can either use the effect menu or go ahead and type in the name Keylight into this effects and presets palette and then just drag the plugin straight onto the footage. The Keylight plugin will open in the Effect Controls panel. The first thing you need to do is tell Keylight where is the color you want to remove. That's the screen color. So just click on the eyedropper and click somewhere close to the actor but not quite on him, such as right here by his arm. And you'll see immediately we get what looks like a pretty good result. In After Effects, you can even click on this checkerboard background to get an idea of how the alpha channel might look. However, this is going to be deceiving. You're not seeing all the little bits of semi-transparency that are in this image. Therefore, Keylight has a number of options underneath its View menu to make it easier to see exactly what's going on. The first thing you want to look at is the Combined Matte option. This shows you the alpha channel for the image. The black area is where it's going to be completely transparent. The white area is where it's going to be completely opaque. And these gray areas are where it's semi-transparent. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on this. And you can see there's some gray areas here that should be opaque right by his arm. Now, if you're finding these hard to detect, Keylight has an even more enhanced view called Status. This is an exaggerated version of the alpha channel that shows you black where it's purely transparent, white where it's purely opaque, but all these gray areas are the semi-transparent areas, and we need to get rid of those where it's not supposed to be semi-transparent. The first parameter to reach for is screen gain. You can start increasing that until the gray disappears. Now, you don't want to just jam this up as high as possible. You want to move it slowly until the gray just disappears from inside your mask. If you hold Command on Mac or Control on Windows while scrubbing, you can move by much finer increments. So we've got a good start there in the screen gain, but we still have some gray areas. To go ahead and start improving our alpha channel, we need to troll down the Screen Matte section inside the Effect Controls. Now, Clip Black works in a similar way to screen gain. It helps make the transparent areas clean. Gets the gray dots out of there. To clean up the white or the opaque areas, we need to play with the Clip White control and reduce it. And again, reduce it slowly until you just get rid of all those gray areas. And again, you can hold Command on Mac or Control on Windows to more precisely scrub this parameter. And now I've gotten rid of my gray dots. Never be satisfied with looking at just one frame of your footage because it may change during the course of the shot. So I'm going to drag my current time marker through the footage and see how it looks throughout this video. I see here a little bit later in time, I've got some gray areas again that aren't supposed to be there. It's okay up here where I'm supposed to see between his neck and his hair, but not okay here in the back. So I'll go back to Clip White, and again keep reducing it until I get rid of those gray areas, which tells me I will now have a fully opaque alpha channel where the actor's body is. The other thing that Keylight shows you are these green areas. This indicates where it's going to need to do some color correction to remove any green spill from the background from the original footage. If you're curious to see what that looks like, the intermediate result shows you the footage with the key but with no color correction, and you can see some green spill on his back. If I change to final result, you'll see where it's now color corrected his back to get rid of that green spill. So we got a good start for our key, and let's go ahead and turn on the background again so we can see the actor in context and start seeing how we can improve this key. Well, the first thing I notice is I do have some ragged or jagged edges around the edges of his body, like particularly here around his abdomen. A good parameter to tackle some of these areas is clip rollback. Slightly increase it, and again you can hold Command on Mac or Control on Windows until you see some of those ragged areas around his abdomen disappear. Only takes a little bit. So now we've got a pretty crisp outline of his body against the new background. Quite often you might want to soften it up to get the impression of light wrapping around his body. To do that, you can slightly increase the screen softness parameter. It does make the alpha channel bloom a little bit. So in opposition, you can go ahead and reduce the screen shrink parameter to tighten the alpha channel back up. I've kind of exaggerated for the sake of this video, but you can see where we've got a nice soft outline around him, so the light more naturally wraps around his body. Now, After Effects contains a large number of color correction plugins to help you go ahead and match this actor's footage against the new background. But again, Keylight has some great color correction built into it as well. For example, De-Spill Bias helps get some of the skin tone back into the actor and remove again some of the green or blue cast from the background. So let's click on the eyedropper for De-Spill Bias and click on something such as his forehead to give us an idea of the skin tone. And you'll see now that some of the green cast has been removed from him and we're getting a more natural skin tone. You can reduce the screen balance parameter to go ahead and get something that's a little bit more natural of a mix there. And that's a good start in the color correction. Keylight has far more parameters where you can dive in deeper and tweak it even more if you want to. So now we have this actor, either against a new background in After Effects, or we can go ahead and turn off the background and render the actor with an alpha channel to put him into a new background, such as in a video editing program or on a website. To do that, I've got my actor, I can see my alpha, pick Composition, Make Movie. This will add it to the render queue. I'll hit the tilde key to go ahead and open up the render queue full screen to see it better. Now you need an alpha channel, so go ahead and pick the output module Lossless with Alpha. And you can click on this name to open the output module settings to tweak them and make sure they're exactly the way you want them to be. Now if you're going off to an editor, QuickTime Video is a good format. RGB plus alpha. Animation, spatial quality set to 100 is a lossless codec. However, you might want to change this color pop-up to straight. That is the format of alpha channel most editors desire. In addition to saving as a QuickTime movie, you can also save it to Adobe FLV Video. FLV version 8 and later does support an alpha channel, so let's go ahead and open up those settings. Click on Format Options, and I get a whole custom dialog here that has numerous presets for different formats of video and different data streaming rates. You do indeed want to turn on Encode Alpha Channel so you can save your transparency, and make sure you're using the On2 codec. That's the one that supports an alpha channel. And beyond that, you have many other tweaks you can perform in this dialog, such as setting the bitrate, filtering to remove some noise in the video, and other customizations. The nice thing about FLV Video being in the render queue is you can set up multiple output modules for the same render. For example, I can go ahead and render my FLV output and at the same time give a video editor a lossless with alpha render, all from one render pass in After Effects. And that's a quick and easy lesson of how to use Keylight. To learn more, go to thefoundry.co.uk, they're the folks who made Keylight, and explore Keylight for After Effects. On their own website, they have a very detailed user guide with many, many examples and example files that you can go ahead and practice with yourself. So you can really get to those finer points and tweak out a good key with whatever source footage that you're using.